Really fast, I just want to introduce myself. For those of you guys who don't know me, I'm Laura, and I've taken over the rallies, and this is my first host call. And of course, I'm sick and sound dumb, but I hope to be on here as little as possible because I want this to be a really great education tool for you guys. I don't know if you guys know, but over half of our rallies are online, and so I just saw that as an opportunity to kind of throw out some tips and ask questions and see how people who do successful rallies, how they do it. And so we have an awesome guest today, Jordan Schrandt. I'm going to give you guys just a little bio about her. So she is an RCD. She's been a member for 5.5 years. She began building in the summer of 2013. Just 3 years and 8 months later, that's when her team hit RCD, and she's been growing ever since. She is a mom of 8, holy cow, a wife, a homesteader and homemaker, publisher of her own magazine called The Farmhouse Movement, host of the largest non-corporate young living event called Diamond Bound, and she's an author to many other books used by YL worldwide. Some of those are The Welcome Book and The Men of Young Living. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of those, but after you meet her today and kind of hear her story, I hope you guys will look into those. So she's done many rallies. Most of them have been online. She's done some public and some just for her team only. But she has a ton of experience in online rallies, and I'm really excited for her to just share her success. So I hope you guys brought stuff to take notes. I kind of have a skeleton of questions for her today, but I told her I want her to kind of run with it and share any knowledge she has. And if you guys have questions, I'm going to be reading the little type-in log, whatever that is. So if you guys have something that comes up, I will make sure to, when I get a chance, say that out loud. And hopefully Jordan can answer that. And then when she's done, I have just some housekeeping items for you guys about the rally in April. So Jordan, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, awesome. Well, the first thing I asked Jordan to do is just kind of tell us her story. Like, how did she come to build a business with Young Living? And yeah, that's the first thing that I would love for you to share with us.
Okay, cool. So, hi everybody. Jordan Schrandt here. Thanks so much for having me on today, Laura. I'm excited to be here and share with all of Team Young Living, and hopefully really encourage you guys to have some awesome rallies coming up. There's a rally, like 3 times a year? You don't do one at convention, right?
Four times a year, actually.
4.
Yeah,
okay.
So they're quarterly.
Okay, cool. So we kind of started doing them after a convention. So I think that was kind of the kickoff to the others. So that's awesome. Well, I'm really excited for you. I know that rallies are a great way to grow your business and to support your people in a really good way. And I'd love to jump in. Laura sent me a list of questions. So I think we're going to go through all those. So I think we will cover a lot. But first of all, a little bit about me. As she said, I'm a mom of 8, and that's kind of my first priority, and my first role is as a mom and a wife. I got married in 2010 to a widower who had 5 small children. So from the time of my beginning of my engagement, I had 5 little kids. They were 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So we had our kids with us on our wedding day, and we went to Disney World for a honeymoon and all the good things. So it was pretty much drinking from a fire hose right at the beginning. And I was a very traditional mom. I didn't have any experience or background in natural wellness or anything like that. It was all, using Windex, and if my kids got sick, I took them to the doctor, like every normal, mom in America. So when I was first introduced to Young Living, I had never even heard of essential oils before. It was very new to me. That was the fall of 2012. I bought some books and just read through them. I highly recommend Chemistry of Essential Oils and the Dusk Reference and Healing Oils of the Bible and Gentle Babies and those kinds of materials to just soak in so much about oils. So I was very opposed to the business. And only because I didn't understand it. And most of our people that are opposed to the business early on is because they just don't understand network marketing, right? So I get that. And so I really cater towards people that have an aversion to sharing Young Living. But I didn't share at all until, intentionally until the following August. And that's when I had a lot of phone conversations with just a couple of people in my team, and they were like, I think I want to do this. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So we talked.
Hey, Jordan, yeah. Can I really fast interrupt you? Guys, if you've called in on a 314 number, you're on your phone, 314-803-6897. Can you please mute your phone, because you're taking the screen off of her every time there's a background noise. So please, if you called in on a 314 number, please mute your phone.
And Laura, I think you can actually mute all of the calls as well. If you click over, I think in like the chat section or somewhere in that, or down at the bottom where it says like manage attendees, you should be able to mute all except for.
But that will mute. Won't that mute you?
You'll be able to just click on the little like microphone for me, able to keep me unmuted. So
perfect.
We do a lot of Zoom calls and. There we go. Now can you hear me?
Yes. All right. We're good.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's just one of those Zoom call things.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem at all. I'm glad to help. So, at the end of the day, we hit the ground running in August of 2013, and taught 27 classes that month, was like out teaching a ton, and I didn't develop a lot online. So there's a point to this, because I was very focused on in-person classes, in-person events, in-person everything. And I was really, really worn out. But we hit silver. So we started in August, we hit silver like in October, we hit gold in November, we hit platinum the following February, like 4 months later, we hit diamond later that October. So we started in August, hit diamond like 14 months after our big hustle. So the reason I'm saying that to say is that there's a lot of power in hustle. And I'm going to talk about that too, because it all relates. If you're doing an event, you have to hustle to make the event successful. If you want to grow like long term, you have to hustle to grow long term. If you want to have people attend your class or whatever, there's a lot of unsexy hustle involved. And so essentially I got pregnant the month that I hit diamond. I found out I was pregnant with twins. And so it's kind of like put a screeching halt on a lot of things for me personally. And that's when I really had to learn how to shift to an online focus more. I was not good on Instagram. I didn't have a huge social media following. I didn't have a blog or anything other than just my Facebook support groups. I didn't understand attraction marketing and so many things like that. And so essentially we had to shift to a lot of online things. And then of course, somewhere in the mix after the babies were born, we hit Crown. And then last March of 2017, we hit Royal Crown. So it was an amazing run. I have a phenomenal team, and they know how to hustle and how to work and how to do it without losing everything else in your life in the process. So that's a little bit of my Young Living story. I have written some books that I initially wrote for my team that we actually Jake Dempsey, who created Oily Tools originally before Young Living took it over, Jake Dempsey and I had a really big heart to heart, and he said, if you have something that's good that can help all of Young Living, you should make it available to all of Young Living. So that's whenever we released our welcome books to everyone instead of just my team. And those are great. And we have some other books, Men of Young Living and things. But I just love this mission. I am super loyal to Gary and Mary Young. I'm super loyal to the corporate executives and to the mission behind what Young Living is about, because I believe that there are a lot of people that are hurting that Young Living can help. And at the end of the day, that is what we're here for. That's what we're doing. That's why we have rallies. That's why Gary is like painstakingly checking like for new markets and new oils and new everything all the time. And that has to be the heart behind all that you're doing, including your rally. And if it is, then people are going to see that, and you'll be blessed big time in return, because you'll have a very, very loyal team. So there's a little bit of my history there, Laura. We can.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. So obviously, I mean, you kind of touched on this. I had on here, why do online events work best for you? And I mean, that's pretty much so that you can be a mom and a homemaker and all that as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. So there's a lot of reasons. Number one is, why not leverage your time to help more people instead of just help a few? That's, at the end of the day, what we want to do is we want to be successful in our business. No shame in that at all. And we want to help people, and as many people as we can. And absolutely, that's a great cause, right? So whenever you are reaching people online, you can reach everyone on the far other side of the earth, if you want to, with the same information and with the same or less effort than getting together with a group of 30 or 500 people in person. And plus, trust me, I love in-person events. I'm a huge advocate of them, and we have our huge event every fall called Diamond Bound for that reason. I believe in them. So I think that it's good to temper some in-person with online, but I certainly think that you should be doing an online rally at least every other time.
Right. What did you do to get better at things like Instagram and the online marketing and the things that you weren't familiar with at first? How did you become familiar with those things?
So each one of those is kind of its own animal. Instagram, I am still improving. I'm still learning. And
you just ask your kids, right?
Yeah. Actually, it's really funny. We had a Christmas party with my teenagers, and I told all their friends to follow me on Instagram because I wanted an instant extra 30 followers, and they all did. And I was like, that was so easy. So that was kind of fun. But no, I study it. I buy courses. I spend the $500 to go through the training of people who have huge Instagram followings, and I believe in investing into your growth. I mean, I believe in it so strongly. I think that the more you can do to add value to yourself, the more value you're going to be able to add in every area of your life, whether it's a mom or a friend or a wife or a business owner or whatever it is that you're doing. So I cannot express enough that if you're like, oh, I don't know how to do Facebook groups, I don't know how to do Facebook events, I don't know how to do Instagram, I don't know how to do whatever. Like, there are tons of free things with YouTube and things like that. Google it, find a video, there's all kinds of free things. And there's also courses that you can buy, which I've done to learn all of those different platforms better. But we primarily use Facebook for our online rallies. And
you just create a group?
I've done it multiple ways. So I have done it where I create an event within my large group. So we have one large team page where most of my team is in, and we've created an event within that page. There have been times where within that group, I just make the posts and I number them, and I'll go through all that if you want me to, Laura, how to kind of effectively put together the execution of the event. But essentially, we can do it there, or we can create an event that's a public event or private outside of our group, and then we invite whomever we want. If you make it public, then anyone that sees it can click attending. If you make it private, then each person can just invite who they want to invite to that specific page. But we've done a number of all of them. Last fall, we had a public event. It was in conjunction with our Diamond Bound event. It was called Diamond Bound Plus Live Your Passion Rally. I don't remember how many people did we have, like 25,000 or something that attended across all Crossline and everything. We gave away a lot of products, like I think $15,000 worth of product or something we gave away, and a lot of those people weren't in our team. But the beauty of doing a fun public event is that you'll get a lot of people coming and attending. And here's where you make that, work for you and growing your team, is that when there's a lot of excitement, it's kind of like the mob effect or the bandwagon effect in marketing. People that are on the outside and don't really know much about it will see all of the buzz and all the activity, and they're like, oh, what am I missing out on? So it's not a bad thing, to make it public. It just kind of depends on what the need is for your team.
Right. That's awesome. Well, do you mind actually walking us through like the process from registration to post event?
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to. So again, depending upon what it is that you're doing, if you're doing it in a private group where everyone already is, or if you're doing it on a public place, so you first kind of want to establish your platform of where you're going to host it. But then after that, it's all pretty much the same. Number one most important thing of any event is the few weeks leading up to it. It's more important than executing the event itself. And this is a huge area that I see a lot of business builders struggling in, because they focus almost all of their energy on creating a beautiful and beautifully executed event, whether online or in person, and they forget the most important part, which is filling seats or getting people there. So remember that the most important thing that you and your team are going to be doing leading up to your rally is generating momentum and excitement for the rally. So a few ways that we do that. We really heavily focus on, I really believe, do y'all remember like before like social media and all that, whenever I remember this, my parents were teachers, and when there was a snow day, there was within all the teachers at the school, there was what they called a calling tree. So like the principal would call like 8 teachers, and each of those 8 teachers had a list of a few other teachers to call. And then they would call those people, and like within 20 minutes, everyone had been called without the principal calling all 300 teachers. And I remember that because my parents were both teachers, and growing up before all the automated texting and all that kind of stuff, that's how people found out about snow days. In a similar concept, when you are doing an event or anything for that matter, any initiative, any push, but in the context of this rally, you want to reach out to your top leaders, or if you don't have a lot of leaders yet, whether maybe it's just the people that are like excited, they're on Essential Rewards, they're like plugging into what you're doing, they're wanting to learn more. You reach out to those people. Maybe it's 5, maybe it's 15. If you're ambitious, maybe it's 40 or 50. But you write them down on a list, print out their name, go through, start a conversation with them. Hey, we're going to have this rally. I'd love for you to be a part. I'd love for you to invite people. Can you commit to trying to get 5 people there, or whatever the case may be? Or maybe if you have a big team, you reach out to all your upper ranked leaders and you have them reach out to their lower ranked leaders. But the key is to get everyone looking at what you're doing. Remember, there's a lot of things vying for people's attention. So your goal is to get them looking at you, not essentially you, but basically your event. Get them looking at you, get their attention, so you can say 1, 2, 3, jump, and everyone jumps at the same time. That is essentially how you create momentum. But what you're going to do is you're going to reach out to as many people as you can, invite them, send them the link through a message. If you're doing this on Facebook, send them a Facebook link. So you actually literally physically copy and paste some of your apps and Facebook apps. You can click share and it'll copy the link for you and things like that. Send them the link, okay? Your job is to minimize as much of the friction as you can. Minimize friction. That's your job. You want to make this easy for people, whether they are brand new members, potential members, business builders. Your job is to absorb the shock, to minimize the friction, and to make it simple, easy, doable, and duplicatable for everyone under your team. Therefore, you send them links. You say, hey, here's a whatever event that we're going to have, and I'd love for you to be a part. At the beginning, I would even send them, hey, would you copy and paste this to 5 people, inviting them? Why? Because sometimes if they're a brand new member themselves, they're like, what do I say? And I'm all for people using their own voice, but at the beginning, they love that because they're like, oh, this gives me confidence to invite people. So give whatever tools you can. Make a pretty graphic. Say, share this graphic, share this link, make sure you invite them. And then once you've got a pretty good base of people invited, if you're going for 20,000 people, you'd say, I've got 3,000 invited or 2,000 invited. If you're going for 20 people, let's say you've got 3 or 4 invited and committed to coming. So once you've got a pretty good basic, you have a few people committed, you've got a few people on board, you know that they're sharing, you know that they're inviting, then you start populating your event page, okay? And that should be within like, actually what I always do is I always put one picture up on the event wall, just so when they click to the event page, there's a pretty cover photo, which you can find on Google Images if you're not good at graphics. And then there's a pretty photo on the first thing listed. Okay, so it doesn't look like a blank page. But then I immediately go in, after I've done all my messaging, then I immediately go in and I start populating. We're getting ready to have a train going by, so if you hear a train in the background. But then I start populating. I say, hey guys, where are you from? Everybody shout out your state. We're going to choose one person that comments where you're from, and we're going to give away whatever. Like sometimes I do a thieves cleaner because everybody knows how to use thieves cleaner. I don't usually do oils if it's for brand new people because they don't even know if they like oils yet. And it's like, hey, do you want to win something that you don't know anything about or know if you like? But I do toothpaste, I do cleaner, I do, lotion, shampoo, conditioner, whatever. And get people starting to comment, start generating. Remember, on Facebook, your goal is to get this into as many people's news feeds as possible. Get it into their notifications. You have to understand Facebook algorithms. If you are inviting people and then you're private messaging them, and then you go and you tag them on the page, like on a post, like let's say you just invited 10 people and you just posted about this giveaway that you're giving away about a thieves cleaner. Go and tag each one of those 10, but don't just tag them. Use 3 or 4 words that aren't tags, and that's going to kick it into their newsfeed and their friends' newsfeeds, okay? So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you comment, tag, and use 3 or 4 words like, hey, be sure you're coming, so-and-so, 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 so that way it kicks into their newsfeeds. Okay, and so then you're going to encourage them to do the same thing. Hey, make sure, what I do in a giveaway post is I say, share why you're excited and tag 3 friends. Because I know that's going to generate it getting in their newsfeed. They're going to use other words outside of just tagging. Okay, so there's a few little algorithm tricks that you can learn and you can use. So do that and then just start posting every day. Listen, you should create this event no less than 2 to 3 weeks out. Why? Because you want to get it in people's news feeds over and over again, because you will only get it in about 7 to 10% of any good day on a news feed every single time you make a post. So if you're wanting to get 100% exposure, you need to be doing this like multiple times a day, and you need to be tagging different people. You need to be PMing it to different, private messaging it to different people, and as much activity as you can generate. Hey, comment why you're excited. Hey, we're doing this giveaway. Hey, we're doing this. Be sure you do a countdown, 10, 9 days, 8 days, 7 days. Make sure it's very clear and on what you're doing there. Okay, so in your description, your event description, it's really, really important that you are not super wordy, that you keep your kind of explanation brief, but that at the same time, you make it exciting. Use like exciting words that grab people, draw them in, magic words, not like boring stuff, but exciting stuff. So I would say something for a rally, I'd be like, if we were going to do it public where we could have our people invite prospects and it's not just for current members in a group, but if it's available for non-members, then I would say, come hang out and have fun with us, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Why? Because the very first thing they see is they need to see this is something that's going to be fun and that you're going to enjoy, because nobody wants more work. Nobody wants more like, hey, would you like to come sit in a 3-hour college lecture where you're just going to get a bunch of notes and information and your brain's going to explode 5 minutes in? They're going to be like, no, I think I'm going to go watch Notting Hill now, right? Like, they don't want that. They want it fun. That's just the nature of our culture, like it or not. It's the nature of our culture. So make it fun. Come hang out with us. Let's have fun. Here's what you're going to learn. Number 1, how to have a more chemical-free home. Number 2, here's what you can expect. Maybe say that, we're going to do a ton of giveaways. Number 3, we're going to meet friends from all around the country who are interested in living a more natural life. Number 4, we're going to talk about how to support your body's systems. And number 5, we're going to see all the great new products that this amazing company called Young Living is launching. Come hang out with Young Living friends, new and old. See you there. XO. That's it. Super short, super brief, straight to the point, because they don't want to read a novel and you want them to actually click going. Okay. And then the other thing is that the day of executing the actual event. Okay. So essentially you want to make your, whenever you're kind of establishing your platform, you want to make it really clear on what people can expect. So if you're doing like a 1 hour event, you don't really have to say much about it. But if you're doing like a 12-hour event and you're going to post like once an hour, Janelle, I'll answer that question in 1 second. If you're going to post like once an hour, you might want to say in your description, hey, we're going to make this all day. We're going to post every hour on the hour or within the hour. We're going to, give away tons of things. We want to celebrate all day long and really get it in people's news feeds or whatever that's going to look like. So you just need to establish what are the parameters around it and make sure people know what to expect. And then executing the day of, it's going to depend on what you how you set it up. But essentially, I love Cinch Share. If you're not using Cinch Share, Cinch, C-I-N-C-H, Share, S-H-A-R-E, it's an app or it's a website. You can pay for it. It's highly worth it. I use it all the time for events. Go there, populate your posts, number them. Post number 1, you can call it rally number 1, rally post number 1, or just number 1. I usually do it in all capital letters. Hey guys, welcome. Shout out where you're from today. We're so excited. Make sure you tag a friend. Let them know the party's getting started. Can't wait to see you. Like do some kind of a welcome and then jump into it. Keep your posts concise, but rich, full of content. No fluff, no crap. Nobody wants you to just sit there and like, not to be rude, but like blab, like they don't want to hear that. They just they're coming for how it affects them. They care how this affects their life. So jump to the meat of how it affects to their life in each post quickly. You can share like, this has changed our life. I love this Thieves Cleaner. We use it everywhere. And that's enough about you, and focus on them. You're going to love this. If you're a mom that's busy and you need a more chemical-free home and you want something that works and whatever, you can get your kids to use it, you're going to absolutely love this cleaner. Okay. So jumping back to Janelle's question, everything is posted within the event. Sorry, I think it took off of my audio there for a second. Everything is posted within the event. Okay. So you've got your event page. Everything gets posted to your event. If you post on your personal timeline, all the people that see your profile are going to be super confused. They're going to be like, what's going on over in the Jordan Schrandt camp today? She's getting a little kooky. She's talking about post number 4, and I don't know, I never see 1 through 3, right? So make sure that you post it, everything in your group. Whenever you set up Cinch Share, you'll be able to link events, okay? So if you don't know how to use Cinch Share, just watch a YouTube video. I'm sure they've created one because they want you to use their product, right? So go set that up. But essentially, you'll post them all to post. You time them out. So you might go like 1, 2, 3, 4, every 10 minutes, every 2 minutes, every 1 hour, depending upon how long your event is. So you time them all out. Always, always, always post a picture or a video or a link with your post, okay? It is not going to show up in their newsfeed if it doesn't have something. It's going to show up more if it has a graphic. That's the best one to get into their newsfeed, okay? So post a picture, graphic. I a lot of times make my own graphics, but if you don't want to do that, listen, like there is so much available on Google Images that you don't need to make your own. Don't feel like you have to. If you're not super huge on like, I have to brand my team name and logo and all that jazz. And honestly, if you're trying to build your business, don't focus on those things because that's not income producing. What's income producing is getting people enrolled, getting people on essential rewards, and getting those people enrolling other people. Focus on those 3 IPAs, and everything about your rally needs to be focused on those 3 IPAs, okay? Including a place for people to enroll. Let's say you're on post number 12. Do not post over 20 posts. 20 is the max, okay? So let's say you're on post number 18 and you're going to finish at 20. Wrap up in 18, 19 do a giveaway or something, and 20 post something about like, hey, if you haven't gotten started in Young Living yet, this is how you need to do it. You're going to grab one of these kits, post like all 4 kits, a picture of them or whatever. I would make it a collage Because remember, when you post on Facebook, if you post more than one photo and someone comments on one photo, it pulls it out of that post and it makes it its own little post. Essentially, when people are scrolling through the feed, the news feed of the page of the event. So make sure you make it a collage. You can do that on PicMonkey. Just click on collage, picmonkey.com. I think you can make a collage for free. So just take a few minutes to do that. You can upload your photos into SenseShare. Okay, so make your photo, make your text, post it for the time, the date, everything, and just get those all set up. Someone asked me a question that I just did. I forgot what it was, Laura. What did she just ask? 2 questions back, I think. I can't hear you. You're muted.
Fail. Let's see. Before that, she said, do you post a photo with each post?
Yeah, and then something after that. Was there something after that?
Are you posting corporate videos?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes. I'm kind of bad because I don't post every corporate video. Sorry, Laura. I watch the videos and then I pick and choose what's going to go with the vibe of our event. I always post like the new the new product launches and things like that. I almost always, yes, you can get graphics from the host toolbox on the Rally page, Laura. That's right. There are graphics there. And I love those. Like there's some really good ones there. I post probably like 60% of the videos, but some of them I don't for a few reasons. Number one, I want to make sure people actually watch them. And if I post too many videos back to back, they won't. It's just, if you look at any like online video platforms and like statistics, and you see people just don't watch multiple videos back to back. They'll watch like all of one, half of the second one, and like 3 seconds of a third, and then they don't watch anything else because they're just busy. So that's one reason, is the time. And then another reason why I don't necessarily post all of them is some things I want to just extract the information and make it a graphic. So like sometimes the YL Foundation video, I will just pull some of the stats, and I'll always talk about rounding up. I talk about it at every rally 100% of the time because I believe in the YL Foundation tremendously. Or I find a really great picture of the YL Foundation or something like that on Young Living's website, or just Google Images. And I say, here's some of the highlights of what the YL Foundation is doing right now. Be sure you round up. If you want to learn more about the foundation, click this link, and I link to the foundation page. And then I post a really cute, not cute, but like sweet picture of like something that the foundation has done in one of their partner programs. So that's a good way if you're kind of wanting to like use some of the videos, but not necessarily like 100%